nutrients and fibre. So before we do this, we'll be able to name the foods which provide the following nutrients. They'll provide carbohydrate, protein, fat, vitamin C and calcium. We'll then be able to explain the functions of those nutrients, and we should be able to list foods which provide fibre, and then should be able to explain the function of fibre. So before we start, can you see which ones are the odd ones out on each row? So out of carbohydrates, starchy carbohydrates is Jelly Baby's starchy carbohydrate, is rice starchy carbohydrate, is potato starchy carbohydrate. Which one's the odd one out of those? Of protein. Which one's the odd one out? Is chicken a protein? Is apple a protein? Do you get protein in tuna fish? Of sugary carbohydrates, is honey a sugary carbohydrate? Is jam a sugary carbohydrate? Is bread a sugary carbohydrate? Which one's the odd one out? Saturated fats, is olive oil a saturated fat? Is butter a saturated fat? Is lard a saturated fat? Of those three, which are the odd one out? Which one's the odd one out of vegetable oil, butter and peanuts on unsaturated fat? So which one's the odd one out in there? For vitamin C, what naturally has vitamin C? Does bread naturally have vitamin C? Does apples naturally have vitamin C? Does oranges naturally have vitamin C? Which one's the odd one out? And then calcium. Do you get calcium from chicken? Do you get calcium from yogurt? Do you get calcium from milk? Which one's the odd one out? Have a wee think. Did you get it right? Olive oil is an unsaturated fat and butter is a saturated fat. Sugary carbohydrates is in the name, it's got sugar in it. Starchy carbohydrates are starchy foods like rice and potatoes. And you get protein from chicken, meat, fish, eggs, beans, pulses. Vitamin C, you will always get them in your fruits, and calcium, we tend to get them in dairy products. So where do we get the nutrients from? We need different nutrients to keep us healthy. So we get these from our food and drink. Can you name the nutrients? What are the main macronutrients? And then what are the small ones, the micronutrients? Carbohydrates, proteins and fats are macronutrients. They're the big ones that we need in big amounts. And then the ones we need in small amounts, the micronutrients, are vitamins and minerals. Did you think of all of these? Right, for carbohydrates, can you name some foods that provide carbohydrate? I gave you a wee clue with a starter. So you get starchy carbohydrates in baked potatoes, in Weetabix, wholemeal bread, brown rice, noodles and whole wheat spaghetti. So we're going for the higher fibre sources of things. That's part of the Eat Well Guide recommendations. So these are all starchy carbohydrates. And carbohydrates are a source of energy for the body. So remember that, you get energy from carbohydrates. A marathon runner would need to eat plates of pasta the night before a big marathon to give them long, slow releasing energy for the marathon. Protein. Can you name some foods that provide protein? This is the pink section on the Eat Well Guide, most of them are in. Baked beans, eggs, salmon or fish, meat, and that's the meat there is lean beef mince, we've got nuts and we've got chicken. And do you know what protein's for? Protein's for the growth and repair of muscles. So if you were building up your muscles, you would need to be having protein to be able to repair, because as you're building up the muscles, you tear your muscles to build up new ones, and you need the protein from your food to be able to build up new muscles. It's also helpful for cuts and stuff like that to help repair them. Okay, can you name any foods that provide fat? So basically the spreads, low fat spread, remember the message was always go for low fat options or unsaturated options, and then we have olive oil is a mono unsaturated fat. So we do need a small amount of fat in our body, and it's needed for good health, keeps us warm as well, and it helps us absorb some of the fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A and E. And fat's a good source of energy for the body and for warmth. Now with the vitamins, there's lots of different vitamins, and vitamin C is one example. Now can you name any foods that provide vitamin C? Brussels sprouts? I bet you didn't think of that one. Strawberries? Oranges? Red pepper? And broccoli. And there's many more. Oranges is the one I always think of that you would get vitamin C. And years gone by, the Navy would get limes because there was vitamin C in any citrus fruit, and that would help them prevent them getting a disease called scurvy. So vitamin C is needed for general good health, and it helps protect the cells and helps to heal our wounds. And it can help you prevent getting colds as well. Now there's lots of different minerals, and calcium's one example. I bet you can name some foods that provide calcium. Milk, of course it's in milk, and it's in natural yogurt, and it's in cheese. And what do we need calcium for? It's needed for general good health, helping to build strong bones and teeth. So it's needed for healthy bones and teeth. Now fibre isn't a nutrient, but it really is important for health. Can you name any foods that provide fibre? So whole wheat or wholemeal varieties of things, so wholemeal bread, brown rice, vegetables and fruit if they've got the skin on, because it's the cell walls of the plants that help provide the fibre. Carrots, whole wheat spaghetti, baked potatoes. So whole grain foods, potatoes with the skins on, and fruits and vegetables all provide fibre. And fibre is needed for keep the food moving through your body so that the digestive system stays healthy. For example, it helps you poo. Right, now, remember the last 6 slides? Can you remember the foods that provide the nutrients and fibre? Which one of those pictures is all carbohydrates? Which one of those pictures is all protein? Which one's all fat? Which one's got vitamin C? Which one's got minerals and calcium? Yeah, the dairy one. And then last but not least, the fibres in that one. So nutrients in the Eat Well guide. Which of the food groups would you mainly find these nutrients? So we're looking for carbohydrate, proteins, fats, the vitamins, vitamin C in particular, and minerals, the mineral calcium in particular. So we'll start with carbohydrate. Which section? Yeah, you're going to find it in the yellow section. The potatoes, bread, rice, pasta and other starchy carbohydrates. And protein? Yeah, that's found in the pink section, the beans, pulses, fish, eggs, meat and other protein section. And fats found in the purple section of oils and spreads. Vitamin C you will find in the fruit and vegetable section. And the mineral calcium you'll find in the dairy and alternative, which is the blue section. Okay, now, which of the two food groups will you mainly find fibre in? Okay, so we're going to get it in the fruit and vegetables section. Did you get that one? And if you're eating whole wheat or wholemeal varieties of this, you will get it in the potato spread rice pasta and other starchy carbohydrates section, the yellow section. Did you get that? Now with nutrients and fibre, we need to eat a variety of foods to make sure that we get all the different nutrients we need for health. Can you say where in the different nutrients and fibre would be found in this meal? So we have salmon, mashed potatoes, peas with a glass of milk. So where would we find the carbohydrates in that meal? Where would we find the protein in that meal? Where would we find the fat in that meal? Where would we find the vitamin C in that meal? Where would the mineral calcium be in that meal? And would there be any fibre? Carbohydrate is found in the mashed potatoes. Protein is found in the salmon. You will also find fat found in the salmon, and it's a good fat actually. It's the omega-3s, so because salmon is an oily fish, one of the ones that you should be having once a week. Remember, 2 portions of fish a week, one of them being oily. Vitamin C we would find in the peas. The mineral calcium we would find in the milk, and you will get fibre in the peas as well. Did you get that? So we need different nutrients and fibre for health, and these are provided by having a variety of food. So if you had the same meal every day, you would not have the variety of nutrients that you need to be healthy. Have a variety of foods. We're now looking at fibre in the food, so we want you to order these foods from highest to lowest by the amount of fibre that you think they provide. So we've got a banana, we've got baked potato with the skin on, we've got egg, we've got wholemeal bread, broccoli and whole wheat spaghetti. So going from lowest to highest, out of those foods, I'm assuming you got egg as the correct for the lowest. Next is banana. Next is baked potato with the skin on. Next is broccoli. Next is whole wheat spaghetti. And then the highest is wholemeal bread. And out of curiosity, how many grams of fibre do you think there are in each of the foods? So there was 0 grams of fibre in the egg. There's 1.1 gram in banana. There's 2.6 grams in baked potatoes. There's 2.8 grams in broccoli. There's 4.2 grams of fibre in whole wheat spaghetti. And then there's 7 grams of fibre in a slice of wholemeal bread. So which types of food provides the most fibre? Foods from the fruit and vegetables group of the Eat Well guide and foods from the potato spread, rice, pasta and other starchy carbohydrates group mainly provide the fibre. Whole grain foods and potatoes with the skin on provide extra fibre. We get nutrients and fibre that we need from a varied diet. We should try to have a healthy varied diet so that we can get the nutrients and fibre we need. Now, can you remember the names of each nutrient? So we have carbohydrates, proteins, fats, those are the macronutrients, and then we have the vitamins, and then we have the minerals, and then we have the 2 things that are not nutrients, which would be fibre, it's needed for a healthy diet, and we need water for a healthy diet, but those 2 aren't nutrients, but you still need them. So can you say how each nutrient and fibre helps to keep us healthy?